NYYST. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Swinging for the fences, knock it out the park. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Christian and Chris, of course SGR. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Homie, New York, Yankee sports talk. Record, rain or shine, grab your shades and umbrellas. NYYST, you're hanging with the fellas.
Welcome back. This is episode 402 of the NYYST podcast. We are live on NYY Underground. I am your host, Christian. As always, joined by my co-host, Chris.
You.
And his special guest.
Hi.
Hi is his name, okay?
Okay.
There it is. Happy 4th of July and fuck the New York Yankees, okay? Before we get into what a disaster this team has turned themselves into here over the last 3 weeks, please make sure you are subscribed to the NYYST podcast. We are available on your favorite podcast platform. If you would be so kind, leave us a 5-star rating and review on said platform. Also, make sure you're telling everybody at that 4th of July barbecue that you're drunk at right now that the NYYST podcast is the official Yankee podcast of Odyssey. And since we're live here on NYYU, if you're in the chat tonight, smack that like, hit the subby. I believe we crossed 29.5 today, so we're almost there to 30K. The growth is incredible despite the Yankees just shitting on themselves any chance they get now.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's just be honest. The kid's here because I try and tell him. I tell him every night, I say, Jack, just move on. Root for another team, you know? And he yells at me. And he's here to learn.
How old is Jack now?
7.
Yeah. Okay. Jack, I'm going to tell you something here, okay? As your older, wiser, pretend uncle.
Okay.
When it hits, it's going to be the most glorious thing you've ever seen in your life. As a 7-year-old, you'll see more glorious things as you approach your teenage years, okay?
I don't know if he will.
Oh, he won't?
If he gets the championship before the teenage years.
I was talking about more glorious things as a teenage
Yeah,
boy.
I don't know if it's more glorious.
Okay, I don't think we're on the same
Series.
page as the joke that I'm telling here. Okay?
No, I'm living the joke. And I'm telling you, I don't know if that is more glorious than a World Series.
Okay, well.
Okay? I'm just being honest.
Well, I got my first World Series before the first time that happened, so.
Okay. So did I.
Actually, I think we got 3 of them in before the first time.
Oh, good for you.
So listen, it's a tough time right now to be a Yankee fan because this team is just, I don't even have, you know what? And I'll say this, they've defeated me. The 2024 Yankees have officially defeated me. I want to come on here and yell and scream and rip everybody, and maybe I'll work myself there. But last night, I forget what inning it was. It was the inning after Volpe hit the double. Might have been, the 7th inning? And they get it to 3-2. Soto walks. First and third, 1 out. Aaron Judge rips one. 107. Right to the third baseman. 5-4-3. Double play. Inning over. They don't tie the game. And I don't know if I texted you guys or I texted my cousin. I felt like I got shot in the stomach at that point. That was when all the air came out of me as a fan. I didn't think that they had it in them to come back. I tweeted this. I said, this offense is so pathetic now that you take it as as actually a victory that they were able to at least move the lineup along to get Soto in that bat in the 9th inning. And then he pops up to end the game. They lose. Stroman, I was actually really impressed with the way Stroman pitched today until he gives a 3-run home run. The game's out of reach there. And then it's just like, I don't know what it is, man. I don't feel anything right now. Like, this team has basically defeated me because this is the first series where I'm sitting here and they've been playing like shit for 3 weeks. Since they blew the game because after they lost the Dodgers series, they came back. They took the first 3 against Kansas City. He said, okay, we didn't have Soto. We'll wash that one away. Take 3 out of 4 from ever since they blew that game in Kansas City, the Holmes game. They've been playing terrible. Lost the series to Boston. They lost the series to Atlanta. Swept by them. We all know what happened. I kept feeling like, let's just get out of here. Let's get out of June. Believe it or not, the Yankees still had a winning record in June. They were 15-13 because that's how great they were playing at the beginning half of the month. Just get out of here. Let's go. Just move away from June. Come look at the schedule. We're sitting here recording the other night. We said, this is a series, man, where you just gotta, you're home against a team that you're better than. You just gotta win a couple games, win a series, right? We're feeling pretty good after that last game in Toronto. Garrett Cole looked better. The offense busted out a couple of times in 2 out of the last 3 times there, saying, okay, maybe things are starting to come along for the Yankees. Nope, not even fucking close. And when Aaron Judge, and this is not a knock on Aaron Judge, because I don't want anybody to take this as a knock on Aaron Judge. It's completely the opposite. When he rips 107 off the bat, and it turns into a double play, you just know that this is where you're at in the season right now. There's nothing he could have done more as a batter, and it turns into a double play, kills the rally. And at that point, I'm just done.
For me, it's like, I don't understand how they're this bad, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it does make sense. I'll give you 2 reasons why they're this bad. One is tangible, and one really, it's tangible to us because we've been covering the team since 2017, and we watch every game. But it might not. There's no physical stat for it, right? So I'll give you the tangible one. The starting pitching is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And you can say, listen, before any, and this is what people were getting at me last night when I ripped Rodon, and we're going to get into Rodon in a couple of minutes here because I got a big problem with him. And this is when my blood is probably going to start to boil here. You can, and yeah, they're all saying, well, he gave up 3 runs, Bob. Okay, fine. You're pitching from behind. You're playing from behind every single game. Every game. Even the games the Yankees have won in the stretch, haven't they had to come from behind in those games and they fall behind early?
Yeah.
Every single game, they're the first ones to crack. You can't win like that.
And it's demoralizing.
If the Yankees are on the road and Aaron Judge and Juan Soto don't do something to score in the first inning, you can cash it in right there. Because at that point then, their pitching staff is going to be the ones to crack. So that's the tangible thing. We've seen it. Major regression out of this pitching staff, especially in the starting staff. And outside of today, I got to say over the last maybe handful of games here, the bullpen has been better.
It has been.
They've at least managed to keep the deficit where it's been. And
not so much. Not today.
In the previous 2 games they did.
Yes. But not today, because if they did today, it would have been a much closer game.
They still would have lost.
Yeah. 5-4.
That's the tangible thing, right? The intangible thing is that it only took one injury, and I'm blaming John Carlos Stanton for this, for the Yankees to revert back to not knowing what the fuck they're doing in their lineup construction. It took one injury because until John Carlos Stanton got hurt, they rolled the same lineup out every single day. And now that he's hurt, they're getting cute. They're trying to do all these dumb friggin' things, and it's not working. And today I give him a little bit of credit here. They put Ben Rice in a leadoff spot. I mean, it didn't really translate to much. He got his first, congratulations to him, first major league home run. It was in garbage time, but you still give him a little credit. This is the guy that we're looking at here. Who's the best hitter currently available? Did I lose Chris? What happened here? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I didn't hear anything you said.
What's the last thing you heard me say?
You were getting into the intangible.
So it's the lineup construction.
Yes. Of course. You don't even have to say it again.
So we were looking at who is the best available hitter out of the other 7 guys that are playing, or
Yeah.
or 10, whoever they're cycling in and out, to put in front of Judge and Soto, right? It has been Ben Rice.
Right.
So he gets the crack today.
Yeah.
So what are the Yankees going to do tomorrow night against the Red Sox? Are we going to see a completely different lineup, or are they going to try to let this lineup gel a little bit now? There's no right or wrong. There is a right
Yeah.
answer. There is a right answer. There is a completely right answer, and I'm going to tell you what it is. You play Ben Rice every day. You play Austin Wells every day. Okay, that's the complete right answer. What you want to do in certain other spots, I'll leave that up to you. But right now, you stick with, and this is just my opinion, you stick with Rice in the leadoff spot, Soto, Judge, and then it really doesn't matter. Okay.
Look, I'm gonna say this.
Can I before you
Yeah,
say anything?
yeah.
Can I say this? Am I crazy to say that just to get our 4 best hitters at the moment up in the first 4 spots, Wells should clean up?
Yeah. Well,
is that a crazy thing to say?
No, but it kind of goes into what I want to say. I think Verdugo needs to lead off. People think I'm nuts, but
well, I don't think you're nuts.
Verdugo has 0 protection all season. 0. Where has he batted where he's had any protection? Maybe before Stanton. Maybe a little.
When Stan was batting 50, why wouldn't you say Stan was protection for him?
I'm saying that's a little protection there, but if he's batting leadoff before Soto and Judge, I think you're maximizing Verdugo there. And
Verdugo had his best game since that Friday night in Boston today.
Yeah, he had a good day. So if you don't want to touch him, fine. All I'm saying is I love Ben Rice. I think he's done a really good job. But I think Verdugo's bat does more damage than Ben Rice being protected by Soto and Judge. I just do.
Okay, and who was the first one to come on here and say that Alex Verdugo should be the leadoff hitter?
Yeah, you.
Okay, right.
You.
But he's been so bad up until today that it's hard to make the point that he should be getting more at bats.
Yeah, but look, batting behind Soto and Judge,
and
batting in front of them is a completely different argument.
Right.
You can't. It's different.
But you can see my point where right now, based on who is hotter, who's playing better, Ben Rice is more logical. But if tomorrow Boone's got Verdugo in the leadoff spot, I'm not arguing it because I wanted them to do it since spring training.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you have to maximize the most potential that you have. And I think Verdugo, as much, I really love Ben Rice. I do. I think Ben Rice he just has a good swing. He has a good lefty swing. He has a good approach at the plate. And I really like him. But I think Verdugo as a leadoff hitter in front of Soto and Judge right now, just try it. Just see what he can do. Because I think he can get into a few.
Look, I'm not going to argue with you on that, obviously, because it's something that, like I said, I wanted them to do coming into the season. But the way he's looked, I shifted to Ben Rice because I just wanted to get our top 3 hitters in the first to get the most at bats right now. But
so, what are you saying? Stay with what you have?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I would prefer Verdugo first over fourth, to be honest with you. The Yankees don't have. Problem is that there's 2 important spots in this lineup.
Wait, hold on. Time out for 1 second. You're saying Verdugo has looked not good, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I agree with you. But in that same argument, if we're going to put him, because we have to put him somewhere, right? Dominguez is hurt. If you're going to put him somewhere, put him in front of the guys who are going to protect him.
Right.
No?
And this is what I'm saying here is that the Yankees have the two most important spots in our lineup, and obviously this could be said for anybody's lineup, but when you have Juan Soto and Aaron Judge, the two most important spots are who's going to get on base in front of them and who's going to protect them. And they don't have a legitimate answer for either of those questions. Because Anthony Volpe was supposed to be the guy, and he's not. Giancarlo Stanton was supposed to be the guy, and he was.
Yep.
And now he's hurt.
Yep.
And this is where the lineup is getting exposed because you have nobody to protect the Soto and Judge. This is where the lineup is getting exposed right now because these guys in some combination were pretty much all here all season. And yeah, I've people in the chat are saying it and people online have been saying it. I didn't think I'd miss Giancarlo Stanton this much. Well, I don't know what you were not paying attention to this season. This guy was mashing. He was on pace for 45 home runs before the injury. He was hitting, I don't know where he ended up, but he was in the high 280s, I think, in runners in scoring position. So a lot of his hits were coming in key spots. This is a guy that you finally were waiting to be healthy. This was a guy that was here to be the big bopper with Judge. And it seemed like it was finally all coming together this year. And then he gets hurt again. But don't worry. He was walking on a treadmill this week, so don't worry about it.
He was light jogging, which I think that's what he does.
He was light jogging today. He finally moved him along a little.
Isn't that
bit.
what he does when he gets on?
Yeah, I guess.
So I guess he's ready.
Again, the last comment. Who knew G would be this important to the lineup?
Yeah, we all did.
I mean,
we all did.
I don't understand. Look, I'm not trying to pick on anybody.
You could have questioned if he was going to live up to it, but no one questioned his importance, right?
I believe if we go back to our spring training shows, we said that something to the effect of Stanton should be the first guy to get the crack at being the cleanup hitter because he has the best potential to protect Juan Soto and Aaron Judge and be the guy that gives you a third legitimate fearful hitter in this lineup. So when he's been as good as he's been, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't want to get anybody. I don't want to.
You don't want to
get on
anyone.
I don't want to get it. I don't want to get on anybody because it's
Jack, you're getting a lot of love. You want to say hi? Say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
What do you think of the Yankees right now? 0 to 10. Give them a score.
5.
Good score.
Yeah, well, they played like a 5, they'd be tied for the AL East lead right now. So over.
So you think if they played like a 5?
Well,
I agree with you.
Today I looked at the standings, and before the game started, they had fallen 3 games behind the loss column, and then I know Baltimore jumped out to an early lead in Seattle.
3 games behind the loss.
Yeah, that's what. Let's see what Baltimore ended up doing here. Baltimore lost today, so the Yankees are 3 games behind the Orioles in the loss column right now.
That's great.
So Seattle did come back in that game because I think they did jump out early, Baltimore. So back on point here. I don't even remember what the hell we were talking about. Okay.
Stanton.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Stanton was and is a key part to this lineup. And we thought we had a replacement in the minor leagues waiting in case something happened to him. And he's hurt too. So, I mean, you cannot. This is what the problem is, right? And we have to be fair in how we break things down, right? Okay. Your DH, who is a 45 home run guy, goes on the IL, right? So who's ready to come replace him? Jason Dominguez, right? Who I think we all see the potential in and all feel good about if he was playing every day, that he would at least be a representative player. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
He's hurt.
Yeah.
How many all-star level players or starting level players do you think that you can have just ready and willing, waiting to plug in? Your depth is being tested.
But my biggest argument is they still shouldn't be this bad.
I agree with that. They shouldn't be, which is
Right?
something that's fundamentally wrong with this team.
Right. And that's where I keep going back to is we can talk all we want about the depth and the talent and who's hurt and who's not pitching well and all of this, but they still shouldn't be this bad.
Are you ready for the hot take?
Yeah.
I would have fired Aaron Boone after the game today.
Honestly, dude, and I thought about this, and let me just say this: I think Aaron Boone has been really good this year, but you know what? I've been saying this for how many weeks now? This is a leadership problem. This is not a talent problem. You have Juan Soto and Aaron Judge in the same fucking lineup. This isn't a talent problem. You have Carlos Rodon, Garrett Cole, and Marcus Stroman in this rotation. This isn't a talent problem anymore. This is a leadership problem. And if you can't face adversity and minimize the damage, then it's a leadership problem. It's not a talent problem. And I'm sick of saying it. And I'm sick of sitting here like an asshole and watching these games. Because I'm sitting there and I'm watching the Yankees lose to the Reds at home against a team who sucks. And I'm cranky. You can ask all my family. You can ask my son right here. I get cranky. Like an asshole. Because they're losing. For what? I know what's happening.
Look,
it's a leadership problem.
And stop. Look, I'm not saying you're doing this. I'm seeing it now starting in the chat here. It's not Aaron Judge's leadership that we're calling into question here, nor should it, because I think Aaron Judge has done a real good job managing his teammates. And we've seen that over the last few days here, or I think more specifically back in Toronto, okay? I think Aaron Judge has done a real good job of making sure that things don't get out of hand, which is his job as the captain of this team, okay? And I know a lot, because I want to go back and say something, because some of you may have missed this, because a lot of people either don't listen to us when we're only audio. A lot of people don't watch us when we're on NYYU. They only pick one avenue, and then if they don't find us there, they don't. So you may have missed this. Derek Jeter was also not the type of captain that you think that he was. Derek Jeter wasn't out there screaming at people and was this hard-nosed, badass leader that everybody thinks he is. Derek Jeter's got rings, and that's what people think, that he did all those things. But Derek Jeter managed personalities like Aaron Judge is managing personalities. Derek Jeter, what he did, and if I'm sorry if you did listen to the show after the Toronto series and you heard this already, but for the people that didn't, I want to say it again. Derek Jeter had a consigliere. Derek Jeter had an enforcer to go handle his business when he needed somebody to be the bad guy in the room, and that was Jorge Posada. Now, does Aaron Judge have that?
No.
And that is where this team is like this instead of like this, okay?
Yeah.
That is what the problem is. It's not Aaron Judge's leadership skills. Aaron Judge, as the captain, his job is to be diplomatic and make sure that this thing doesn't explode in everybody's face. That's why he defends Glaber. He talks to Marcus Stroman and says, love the passion, pal, but we're not going to do that on the field. He talks to Rodon after he fucking does, he goes after Ben Rice. It's not that, oh, he's too passive, he's a puss. No, that's not, as the captain, you don't want your teammates showing up your other teammates on the field. There's a time and a place for that. If Stroman bitched at Glaber Torres in the clubhouse where nobody could see it, nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about Aaron Judge having a conversation and softening Marcus Stroman, because that wouldn't even be anything anybody would have seen. But it's the fact that it was done on the field and it's made a bigger deal that Aaron Judge now has to step in and do it in a public forum. So Derek Jeter never did any of those things either. When Derek Jeter needed somebody to go smack somebody, he said, "Hey, Jorge, you're up, buddy." So if anything, you want who is Aaron Judge's guy on this team? He doesn't have one. He's got nobody that's got the respect and gravitas in that locker room that Jorge Posada did. And that's not knocking Derek Jeter, because if my daughter happened to have a different chromosome, her name would have been Derek. So nobody fucking got more love for Derek Jeter than I do. So I'm not knocking Derek Jeter, okay? But let's face facts and be real about what happened back then.
Yeah. Yeah, we said it. And here's another thing, and I've taken shots at Judge for his leadership because you just don't know what happens behind closed doors, right?
And Anthony Garcia with the super chat just real quick says Boone wants a snow cone.
Okay, snow cone, cupcake, whatever.
Is it because it's hot out now? He's switching to,
probably a
to
snow cone.
ice-based snacks.
But here's the thing with Judge, and it ends here. Look, until Judge wins a ring, I will question his leadership. Is that fair or no? Is it not fair?
But if he's being, what do you want him to do more?
Hold on, I'm not ripping him. Just tell me if it's fair. Until he wins a ring, is that not fair?
I can't say that it is, and I can't say that it isn't.
Okay, in the same breath, he's the fucking guy running this team on the field. If Aaron Judge wasn't hit, what's his OPS?
11 something. I think it's 11
yeah,
something.
11 something. How many RBIs does he have?
83.
83. How many home runs? 31.
32.
32. If he didn't have all that, then maybe I'll sit here and I'll start really ripping on him.
And here, Aaron Judge after the game says, "I have to step it up to get the Yankees out of this."
Exactly. So when you have a leader who's on the field doing what he's doing,
314, 32, 83, OPS 1135.
Christian, he's not just leading the Yankees; he's leading all of baseball.
Yeah.
In what he's doing. So for me, there's only so much he can do off the field after what he's done on the field for me to put all of this on him. I'm not saying he's a great leader. I don't know. Until they win a World Series, I'm not going to give him the credit that he might deserve off the field. But right now, I have
and
to
that's you comparing him to Derek Jeter.
Of course.
Captain.
Of course. And then
and
then you brought in the Posada stuff, which is very valid and very true. So what I'm getting at is I can't put it on Judge. That's all I'm saying. And if I can't put the leadership issue on Judge, I have to put it on someone.
Look, man, I'm going to tell you like it is, okay? And again, I wanted to say you want the hot take. It's not a hot take. I mean, it is a hot take in the sense that am I overreacting to being swept to the Reds at home?
No.
Maybe a
There's
little
no
bit.
overreaction.
Maybe a little. Calm down a second here. Maybe a little bit. But this is now going back. How many years have we been saying now that Aaron Boone does not know how to pull the nose up when this team is tail spinning? He does not know how to do it. He can, I didn't see the post game today, but did he fake smack a microphone in fake anger today? Did he do that?
I didn't watch.
Look, and is Brad Ausmus a great manager? No, he's not a great manager, but you know what it is? It's a message to the team. And because Philadelphia fired Joe Girardi in midseason, guess where they went that year? To an underachieving, talented team. Fired Joe Girardi midseason. Guess where they wound up? In the World Series. Sometimes you have to do something drastic. And Aaron Boone is a lame duck manager.
Let me ask you a question.
Why not pull the trigger right here?
Yeah.
And tell this team what is going on is unacceptable. What is going on right now, we don't stand for that. Because today is George Steinbrenner's birthday, okay? There's no way if George, and again, if George was alive, nobody hates that more than me, right? But if George was alive, with the money that's being invested into this team, with the prospect of Juan Soto being one and done, where they were 3 weeks ago to where they were now, George has fired guys for a lot less. And guys that had put fucking jewelry on his finger, something that Aaron Boone has never done.
True.
And it
Let
is
me ask,
also
let me ask you a
John
question.
Sterling's birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, John. Let me ask you a question. How many friends have you had a good time with in your life?
0.
How many? No, in all seriousness, how many friends have you had a good time with? Have you said this friend is great when I'm having a great time?
But he's not there for you when you're not.
No. Just answer the question. How many friends have you had that things are great, we're having fun, I love this guy?
There's probably been a handful over the course of my life.
Right. How many friends have been there when things have been tough?
Not many. Probably
Not
even
many,
less
right?
than that.
And when things are tough, do you go to the guy who's just there when and doesn't contribute? Or do you go to the guy who's there to pull you out of it, to turn things back around? Aaron Boone is the friend right now who's there when things are great. Aaron Boone is the guy who, when things are amazing, he looks like the hero. He's the guy you want to be with, right? He's the guy who makes you feel good. When things are great, Aaron Boone is the guy who makes you feel like you're on top of the world. Life isn't about being with the person who is there when things are good. Life is about being with the person who is there to pull you out of the bullshit. And the Yankees don't have a person to pull them out of the bullshit anymore. It's easy to be with people who make things easy when it's fun. It's not, it's very difficult to find a person who can give you the motivation to pull through things when things are tough, when you hit adversity in life, because life is constantly going to give you curveballs. Life is constantly going to fucking knock you off your pedestal.
Okay, NYYPT, New York Yankee Philosophy Talk.
Okay? Life is constantly going to make things tough. And if you don't have a leader, if you don't have someone next to you, if you can't rely on someone who is there when adversity hits, and you can count on that person to pull you through it, then you're not being led in the right direction. And for me, that's why this is a leadership problem. Because when things are great, Aaron Boone is amazing. We haven't complained about Aaron Boone all year.
Yeah, and look at the second that this team started to face a little bit of adversity.
That's all I'm saying, dude. And if you think I'm crazy, fine. I really don't care. Because this isn't something that's quantifiable. And I agree with you. If you want to argue with me that there's nothing that you can tangibly debate with what I'm saying, fine.
I can tangibly debate this, and I've been using this for years now. Aaron Boone became the first manager in New York Yankees history to manage a 5th year for this team without previously winning a World Series.
That came years ago. That came 2 years ago.
And we continually get further away from the World Series. You can say roster construction, Brian Cashman, Hal. There's one person in the dugout, and that's Aaron Boone. He has to be looked at as part of the problem. And yes, nobody said this before we did. Brian Cashman is the bigger problem.
Yes.
Nothing will truly change, excuse me, until Brian Cashman is gone. Got it. Check mark. Said it years ago. That doesn't mean that you keep around a failing manager or don't put blame on his shoulders, because there's a bigger issue at play here. And to be completely honest with you, I think Brian Cashman did about as good of a job as he could have done in the offseason, except for that. I really would have wished that he would have went on and got another starting pitcher, tried, didn't work out in a couple of different areas.
And to be fair, if Clark Schmitz stays healthy here,
but even when
he
might
not
healthy,
be saying that.
But even when he was healthy, I said that.
Fine.
Fair to me, okay? And also, I never was in love with his bullpen coming into the season. And you know that because that's what I said.
Yes.
My biggest problem with
And
this
you
team
were
was.
right. You were right.
So could he have improved in those areas? Yeah. But when you come out here and say, my biggest issue is left-handed hitting. I need 2 left-handed bats. I need them in the outfield. And you address that with Juan Soto and Alex Verdugo. It's hard for me to say that you didn't do your job as a general manager. And when you do know that you need starting pitching help and you bring somebody in the quality of Marcus Stroman to go in with guys like Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon that you've already acquired, it's hard for me to truly say that you didn't realize and correct the problem. Maybe too little, too late. Fine, you want to argue that. But now what is the problem? You're giving all the tools in the tool chest. He still can't finish the project, Aaron Boone. Because this is what his job is, right? Manage the team, manage the personalities, get the best out of your players. He is not doing that. You know who? I'll tell you one thing right here. Is it Aaron Judge's job to make sure that Rodon and Stroman aren't barking at the infielders for plays that they.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. But you know who else's job it also is? Before Aaron Judge even gets to say anything?
Boone.
That's Boone's job as the manager. Did you see Boone? I don't think Aaron Boone said anything to either of those
Aaron
guys.
Boone actually said when the Stroman shit happened that he didn't even know it happened.
Oh, what are you watching?
And the thing is, like, if you have a pulse, if you have a finger on the pulse here, clearly you have guys who are against Glaber, right? Like it's a Glaber issue.
I think there is a little bit of a mutiny around him.
So why do we not know that this is an issue? Right? Have a finger on the pulse is all I'm saying.
And so, okay, Aaron Boone is part of the problem. This is a way to shake up the team. Get rid of him. Put this team on notice. And then guess what? If they continue to tailspin, great.
Then who cares?
But here you'll get the Boone defender. See, he told you it wasn't his problem. Oh,
Right.
really? What has he done in the last 3 weeks to get this team out of this funk that they've been in?
Right. What's the other end here?
Because let me tell you something right now, okay? We can only take people at their word for what they say, right? And until they're proven to be liars, right? Who said he has control of the lineup card?
Who?
Who said he has control of the lineup card?
I don't know who.
Aaron Boone.
Aaron Boone. Oh, yes. Himself? Yeah, of course.
Yes. What's your rationale for putting fucking Jahmai Jones in a premium spot in this lineup?
And
on multiple
benching
occasions?
Ben Rice and benching Austin Wells?
The most egregious one to me was when they did it against David Peterson because lefties hit 304 against David Peterson.
Doesn't matter.
You have control of the lineup card. Put your best 9 guys out there. I can tell you at any given point in time, Jahmai Jones is not one of those 9 guys. I can't even make a legitimate argument for Jahmai Jones being a Major League Baseball player. What does he do that keeps him on a Major League roster?
He runs fast.
Great. Go find somebody else that can play a position.
Yeah, pretty expendable. But look.
And this is not to pick on Jahmai Jones. I'm just saying, didn't he bat 50 the other night?
It has nothing to do with Jones and everything to do with Boone.
And here's the point about Brian Cashman, because somebody in the chat said he is a great all-season GM. Can't do it during the season. Okay. I don't think it's for a lack of trying, though. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Is he not willing to go to certain lengths? Yeah, okay. I could agree with that one also. But after the off season that they've had, that's why I was willing to give them till the trade deadline to make a final distinction on this team.
I think Cashman has the chips in his corner here. Right? He's had it. He got Juan Soto is on the New York Yankees. Right? Carlos, let's let's go Verdugo. Verdugo is here. He needs to perform.
I
He's
agree.
here. Carlos Rodon, whether you agreed with it at the time or not, needs to be better.
And right now, I've had a fucking twitch in my eye since we started recording. This is what this team is doing to me right now.
Okay. But like,
No, Cashman's got. I think Cashman's got 2 more years, right? He
I
just
don't know.
he signed a contract extension
I thought
the
it was
same-
one.
the same offseason they re-signed Judge, right?
Yeah, you're right.
He's definitely not done after this year.
Here's my thing. I'm the Christian who hates Cashman more than me. No one.
Maybe his ex-wife.
Maybe his ex-wife. I hate him. I rip on him every chance I get. I can't rip on him here. Maybe in certain points, maybe the depth should be better. Maybe the philosophy of the team should be better. Maybe your manager should be better. But as far as what he's done, this team needs to perform better. And I haven't said that in a long time, but here's my biggest issue right now. And I think we need to get to this. I think we need to just kind of hone in on this. This team went from 3 weeks ago, we sat here, and this team went from, at the trade deadline, a few pieces away from being a World Series contender to now, I don't know what you can do to convince me they can win it all.
I think I'm at the point now where they need to fire Aaron Boone.
Yes, that hold on. That's the only thing. Because put that aside, because they're not going to do it. Right? If they do it, I'll be fucking shocked.
Because I still think at some point they're too good, especially if they get Dominguez and Stanton back and whatever may come at the trade deadline, that they'll be able to secure one of these wild card spots.
They're going to.
Right? Okay.
They better.
Yankees get into the ALCS, let's say.
And
Fall
lose.
down 2-0. Aaron Boone's going to correct the ship
No.
mid-series like that?
He hasn't
Because
before.
the last fucking time the Yankees found themselves in that same situation, or a little bit,
Got
even
swept.
a little bit worse, his grand idea was to show the Yankees highlights of how their teammate ancestors became the first
Yep.
team in history to lose a series after being up 3-0. That was his grand idea.
We are going to start banging.
Yeah. Listen, Aaron, here's the deal, bro. We'll fire you. You'll get paid at the end of the year. Your wife's a Playboy model. Start banging.
Is she?
Okay. Yes.
She does Playboy?
Not anymore, but she was.
Don't ever look at
You didn't know that about her?
I guess I did. But here's my thing.
Where's that guy? Where's the guy that bagged the Playboy Playmate? Where's that guy?
He's not here, dude.
I
So-
want that guy to manage my baseball team. Not
So
not at whatever fucking milky white fucking plain rice bullshit ass cuck is in the dugout now. I don't like
Right.
this guy. I want the guy that bangs a Playboy Playmate that
Yeah.
convinced her to marry him. Not this fucking weirdo that blows bubbles and picks his nose all day.
and bakes cupcakes after the game. And here's my thing. And let's just focus on this, because you're the guy who always goes, I'll say something and then you go, the Yankees will really do this. So let me be that guy.
Mhm.
The Yankees aren't firing Boone.
No shit.
No shit. So let's talk realistically here. At this point in time, again, 3 weeks ago, we could have said the Yankees need to do this, this, and this, and they will probably win it. They'll probably be the favorites to win a World Series. Realistically, what can the Yankees do now to be the favorites to win a World Series? I don't see it.
On
I don't
paper, they
see-
can still do
on
this,
paper,
this, and this,
On
but
paper, Christian, I don't see anything, because here's why. You said it last week. There's only a few teams out of it. There's only a few players that move the needle that are even available. This team is so fucking broken that you can't tell me that the trade deadline is going to save this team.
Okay, so do you want your 4 minutes now to convince everybody why they should trade Juan Soto?
No, fuck you. Because here's why. Because you sit there on our text and I try and say something and you, what's the word I'm looking for? You I don't know. Whatever it is. Whatever the word is I'm thinking of to make me feel like a piece of shit. You just say, "Oh, I'll give you 5 minutes to tell everyone why they should trade Juan Soto." They can't sell. This team can't sell. Selling doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense now. And it doesn't make sense anytime from now until Judge is up. It
Well, it
doesn't
made sense last year. They didn't do it.
now until Judge is up now.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense. Garrett Cole, still in his prime. Almost out of it. Aaron Judge, still in his prime. Most people might say almost out of it. I don't know.
Who?
Yeah, most.
No, I didn't. Who said? Who said?
No,
about
no.
who?
I'm saying some people might say Aaron Judge is close to being out of his prime,
I
but
mean, statistically, yeah, he is.
statistically, he's not. Maybe
I mean, statistically, like age-wise, and when guys
Age-wise
start
is
to
what I'm
age out of
saying.
their prime,
Right.
yes.
what
that's
I'm
correct.
saying is age-wise, people would argue he's going to be out of it soon, but statistically, you can't argue that.
Right.
But my point is, when are you going to build a championship team around him and you have Juan Soto next to him, right? You have the makings of everything that you could ever imagine. So for me, if it's not now, I don't know what else you want at this point. I
Look,
really don't.
Here's, and then I want to get onto a couple other things here. Here's my problem with the Yankees, right? I think that they'll pull themselves out of this. I don't think they're going to get that bad.
Oh, I think you're way wrong, but keep going.
I don't think they're going to get that bad to the point where we're going to have to worry about them not making the postseason.
I don't think they'll get that bad, but I don't know if they're pulling themselves out of it. Well, 2022, they made the ALCS, right?
Right.
They're literally replicating what they did in 2022.
Okay. Here's
And
the
they
point that
got swept.
here's the point I'm
So
trying to
keep
make.
going. Yep.
Here's the point I'm trying to make. Because what happened in the ALCS, they got punched in the mouth and they didn't know how to
Hard.
respond to it. Okay. That is my problem with this team. They'll get on a run. It's baseball. Even if a run means that they'll play back to being a 500 baseball team, which would put them at 20 games over 500. They'll win 90 games. They'll get a wild card spot, right? Okay. The second that one of these teams in the postseason punches them in the mouth, they're going to hit the canvas. They're going to look up at the referee and they're going to wait for 10.
And want a cupcake because of the manager.
And it's all because of one guy, Aaron Boone. Okay.
Yep.
And for the people in the chat that said Hal and Cashman are penning pitching, they are not. Okay.
They have a $300 million
Payroll. They have Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, John Carlos Stanton, Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon. How many more fucking guys on this team that you want making $25 million or more on this team? Okay. You want to talk again. I'm not going to get into this deep again because we say this 100 fucking times. You want to argue how the money's being spent. That's your argument. Not what is being spent on what it's being spent on is your argument.
Cashman could be your first argument. Should be gone. Sure.
You
Boom.
want
Should be gone.
Wandy
Sure.
Peralta. You wanted Wandy Peralta back. You wanted this bullpen arm. You wanted that. Great. Guess what? The Yankees are at the top tier of the luxury tax, paying I think it's $1.10 for dollars spent, because guess what? They got $16 million of dead money in this fucking payroll this year, paying Wash Donaldson and Aaron fucking Hicks. Okay, $16 million. Think about what that could have bought you in free agency if you weren't wasting it on those two jabronis. Okay, and people are talking about fucking DFAing DJ LeMahieu. You're talking about with 2 years and $40 million or whatever is left on his contract. You think the Yankees are cutting bait when you know the Yankees are going to try to stay under the top tier next season, and you're just going to have a dead roster spot?
Yep.
When you basically had one this year with the combination of Hicks and Donaldson's money. So again, you want to complain about how the money is being spent? Go right ahead. But you cannot complain about the resources that are put into this fucking team.
Yeah. So much money. Hey, real quick before we get into the next topic, can you think of like an easy trivia to give Jack? He loves Yankee trivia.
Okay, easy trivia. Okay.
You're
All
so
right.
good at it.
Okay, Jack, who
Get ready to answer.
is the Derek Jeter question like too far back for him?
Probably.
Okay.
It's got to be way more recent.
But
Like
what about recent with an old person?
Maybe.
Jack, who did Aaron Judge break? Who did Aaron Judge break his record to when he hit 62 home runs?
Who had 61 home runs? Not Mickey Mantle, but no. Roger.
McDonald, got it.
Meh. Not Babe Ruth. Roger. Meh. Maris. You knew that one. Give him another one. Come on.
Okay.
Quick.
All right. Okay. See, you're saying Jeter stuff is too old for him.
Jeter's too old.
And if I
He was going to say Babe Ruth, which was close.
all right, who all right, I give you this one's topical for the day, all right? Which Major League Baseball player did they name Lou Gehrig's disease after?
Lou Gehrig.
Very good. All right.
Good job.
All right. So it is also the anniversary of the luckiest man speech here.
People want to babysit Jack. That's all.
Some of these people we can't tell whether or not they're of age, what age they are, what gender they are. So,
okay, can't assume.
So I don't know. Let's see some profile pics here before we let Jack
Okay.
into your custody here. All right. So a couple of things here.
What number was Derek Jeter? Someone asked. What number was Derek Jeter?
2.
All right. There you go. Okay.
Okay. Kid knows the shit.
He's just shy. All right.
Okay.
So there's a couple of players I want to pick on right now. And I don't know if you want to pick on them too.
Probably, yeah.
And this is not to say that this first player is not capable of being the Yankees shortstop for the next 10 years. Okay. But I need to see more baseball IQ out of Anthony Volpe. I really do, man.
Just go into the at bat from last night. Not today, last night. That at bat alone is all you need to argue with anything you want to say about Anthony Volpe.
So Alexi Davis is on the mound, right? Okay. He loses the batter previous to Volpe, who was Wells at the time, right? Wells pinch hit.
How many pitches?
Wells worked it back. He was down 0-2, worked it back to full. Diaz lost the plate, walks Wells. Now you got your base runner here. Things are cooking, right? Because now you're like, all right, now we got a base runner.
How many outs?
0 outs.
Okay.
Now we're thinking we're cooking because we already got Soto guaranteed to come up in the inning. Now we got a base runner, so we're thinking here that we got Judge coming up. Now, this is not a debate versus bunt, not bunt, because what the bunt does is guarantees Aaron Judge's at bat. Because in likelihood here, they are going to walk Soto to again try to set up another. You don't think they're going to walk Soto?
Absolutely not.
It's debatable at
No,
best.
it's not debatable. Hold on. Someone said this last night. I think it was SGR, actually. No, that's not debatable. You're not walking Soto just because a guy goes to second. Aaron Judge is up next.
I understand that. He also
Come
already
on.
hit
I'm
into
not buying that bullshit.
It's a thought process that
It's
a lot
not
of
a thought process.
that people had. Listen.
Okay. Okay. Anyone who had the thought process is a moron.
Okay.
You're not walking Soto to get you. In no world you can create so many different worlds. And in any world that you create, you are not walking Soto to get to Aaron Judge. I don't care what you want to say. I don't care what anyone wants to say. In no world are you walking Juan Soto to get to Aaron Judge. So keep going.
It's at least a point that could.
It's not a point. It's no. That's what I'm saying. It's not a point. It's not. Sorry, not a point.
Do you want to just talk?
You're not walking anyone to get to Juan Soto. Sorry, to get to Aaron Judge. He's what is Aaron Judge? A robot, you said? He's a robot. He's not a human being.
Okay, listen. I'm
Okay,
not saying
so keep going. Yeah.
The bunt, okay?
You bunt, and then they're going to walk Soto.
You would think they would maybe pitch carefully to Soto. Is that,
Nope.
Oh, they're coming right at him because he's not dangerous himself.
He is, but he's nowhere near Aaron Judge.
You got to pick your poison at some point.
And the poison I'm going to pick is Juan Soto.
Right. Nobody's thinking setting up a double play after Judge already hit.
Hold on. Now, you want to argue with me that you're going to walk Soto and Aaron Judge?
It's possible.
Now I'm talking.
Probably not.
Now,
you're not going to put the tying run at third, but anyway.
Fine, but if you want to have that argument, I will.
All right, listen. Here's the point, right?
Okay, get to the point.
Some people wanted the bunt. Boone said he wasn't thinking about the bunt. I'm not really thinking about
loser.
I'm not even really concerned with the bunt at this point, right? My point with Volpe here is you have to be fucking smarter than he was in that situation last night. You watch the pitcher get wild, walk a guy he had up 0-2, throws the first, even if the bunt is on in this situation, the first pitch is fucking sky high, not even close to the zone. Your manager is having faith in you at that point to do the right thing. Ball 2, pitch number 2. That bat should be literally shoved up your ass so there you have no chance of swinging it. Am I wrong?
Should be glued to your shoulder.
Right. What's he do?
Swings
and bangs into a double play. And guess where that pitch was? Not even
out of the zone,
close.
not even close.
You have to
Awful.
be smarter in that situation, knowing that the only thing that can happen that doesn't get Aaron Judge in that bat in that situation is you hitting into a double play. You standing there and staring at 3 pitches down the middle is still more productive than what you did. We rip on Gleyber Torres all the time for low baseball IQ, which he exhibited again today, okay, for doing the same thing Volpe did, down in the game, swinging at balls, making outs, when you could have had a chance at a rally, even though you're down 4. I mean, you got to get fucking base runners here, right? You watch the guy lose Wells up 0-2 because he got wild. You watch him sail one to the top of your fucking helmet. And your response is to swing at a pitch that is so fucking low, it was basically burning ants on the way to the fucking plate. And you bang into a double play. More than anything, that at-bat right there is what got Volpe sent down to 6 today, or wherever. Where did he hit today?
And my tweet. It was that
definitely-
at bat and my tweet.
Definitely your tweet, 100%. Okay. You have to use baseball IQ in those situations.
And you want to know what the worst part is? I love Anthony Volpe. I hate ripping on him. I do. Don't you hate ripping on him?
Yes, I do.
I think he's amazing. I really do.
Well, I can't say that he's playing amazing right now. But
Yeah, but fielding wise, he's incredible. And I think his potential at the plate is amazing. I do. I think I think he has potential to be an amazing hitter.
And I love Hirsch. Absolutely. Always in the
We
chat.
love Hirsch, bro. We fucking
Again,
love you, dude.
Volpe, not the problem. Part of the problem, though, right
Huge
now.
part. Huge part. Not
Again,
just a part.
This goes back to the
huge part.
Boone argument. He's not he's part of the problem. Because if Volpe was producing at a level he was in April and May, early part of May, you're not even thinking, you're thinking about, okay, we got 1, 2, 3. Where's the lineup start? And maybe you can start talking about lengthening the lineup to 4 or 5.
Right.
Now you're looking at a situation. You had to bat Ben Rice leadoff today. That's how bad Anthony Volpe's been. And he's not making smart decisions at the plate. Again today, what's he doing there? Okay. Again, look, it's not so much what happened versus what Volpe did in the situation.
Right.
First of all, 1 out. I don't care about the contact play being on, because I want you to force the defense to make a play in that situation. 1 out, try to score on an out. 0 outs, the contact play is not on. 1 out, different story, because now if you don't send them, you can't score on an out. Fair at least?
Fair.
Okay. I don't even care that Verdugo went on contact, because with 1 out, I probably send them to make the play, and Ellie De La Cruz is a freak out there, made the play, right? Why are you pulling outside pitches, hitting it to the only spot on the fucking diamond where they can probably have an easy play to get him out?
Dude, how many times do we have to say situational hitting? It's not hard. It's not hard.
And again, we sat here and talked about this 3 fucking weeks ago about how much better this team was at situational hitting. And now they completely forgot how to do that. That ball is on the outside part of the plate. At least poke it to the second baseman, poke it down to first, give Verdugo a shot to score there. You hit it to the one spot and the one guy that you can't hit it to.
And that goes back to leadership. This team isn't this bad. So why do we continue to play this bad? I don't care who's hurt. I don't care who is fucking hurt. You don't lose a series at home to the Cincinnati Reds. You don't. In what world does this Yankees team lose a series at home to the Cincinnati Reds? I'm telling you right now, Juan Soto's sitting in right field going, man, I was kind of duped. I thought this was where I wanted to be. Maybe not. Because this fucking organization is a joke. Because if you think this Yankees team is anything other than a joke right now, getting swept at home by the Reds, then you are brainwashed. You are delusional. No Yankees team. No Yankees team in 2024, after we were promised 2019 was the year. No team should be getting swept by the Reds at home. I don't care who's hurt. I don't care who's in the lineup. This team is pathetic. Pathetic.
And somebody in the chat said when Volpe was on his hitting streak or whatever, it was all good then. Yeah, but here's the problem. It's not all good right now. And when things are going bad, you have to be at a heightened sense with your intelligence and play smarter. You can hide some of these deficiencies when you're hot and the team is hot. But when you're struggling to score runs and you're playing from behind every day, you cannot be as stupid as Anthony Volpe has exhibited in the past 2 fucking days. You just can't, because now the problems are amplified. We've always said, Anthony Volpe, why are you trying to, first of all, why are you trying to pull an outside pitch in that situation? Why?
Right. Go with it.
If that pitch is inside and you pull it, you know what?
That's when Volpe's his best.
I hate it.
Go with it.
I hate it that he pulled the ball with the infield in. And we can't get Verdugo to score. But at least I could sit there and say, all right, the pitch is inside. He went with it. He pulled it. The fucking pitch is on the outside part of the plate. Give the runner a chance there. Give Aaron Judge a chance in the 9th inning last night. Use your fucking brain. What did they say in a league of their own? Use that lump that's 6 inches above your ass.
Never saw it. Never will.
Use that fucking thing that's sitting up there on top of your shoulders.
Never saw it. Never will.
Okay? Oh my God. Like, that frustrates me to no end. This guy is wild. Take a fucking strike. Take 2 strikes. And instead, you're swinging at a ball.
Agreed.
If he would have done that and that pitch was dead center cut fastball and banged into a double play, I'm probably still saying here, my God, why aren't you taking a fucking pitch now?
And hold on. I know it didn't translate into hits today necessarily, but didn't Volpe look like he was at least having better at bats today? Or was it just me?
It might have been you. And please stop with the whataboutism. I fucking can't stand it more than anything. Well, you're ripping this guy. What about? Stop, okay? I'll get to fucking everybody when I have fucking time for it. This is a no nonsense. No, we're not pulling punches against anybody right now. And we said, and I even said it. Are you paying attention to what I say on this fucking show? That I wanted Verdugo to lead off, but he's been so bad that I can't justify putting him there right now.
Yes.
So what do you want? That I got
Dude, people are mad that you're cursing with a little kid.
I've known Jack since he was in his mother's womb, okay?
Oh, my
he's
God.
heard worse.
Jack, tell the people, can you get us to 100 likes? Please, beg them. Come on. You got to be worth it here. Say, please get us to 100 likes. Say it. Say, please get us to 100 likes.
Just say 100 likes. Can you do that?
200 words. Likes. Say it.
100 likes.
Please.
Right. Please.
Jesus Christ.
This kid's heard way worse with his father
way worse.
Watching fucking Yankee baseball, okay? Don't worry
and hold
about
on.
what I'm saying.
Anyone who's flipping out that there's cursing with little kids, this kid has been exposed to Yankee baseball. And I sit here, and you want to talk about passing it down to generations, right? He's 7. You don't think he's seen me throw the remote? Have you seen me throw the remote control across the room and curse at the TV? Yeah. Yes. And he says to me, Daddy, stop. I hate when you talk bad about the Yankees. He needs to be here. He needs to hear it. So what? You don't want him to pass it down? This is it. Be a man. He's going to be a man. And that's why he's here.
Just guys, please, with the whataboutism, I can't deal with it anymore. What about this guy? Why don't you look? Everybody's going to get it, all right? I literally knocked Verdugo earlier on in the show. But I'm talking about Volpe's baseball IQ here. There's a different conversation. I said how bad Verdugo's been, that the guy who's been championing him to be the leadoff hitter all year doesn't want him there anymore because of how bad he's been.
But dude, here I tweeted Verdugo should be leadoff. And everyone says, "Oh, he's been so bad." He also hasn't hit in front of Soto and Judge. Let him hit there. Let's just see. Give it a week. Let me just see.
I'm like I said earlier, I'm not going to argue it if it happens.
Because give it a week, and if it doesn't happen, then when Dominguez is healthy, that's your answer, right? Okay. Give Verdugo the chance that he deserves right now. Bat him in front of Soto and Judge, and if he fails, then when Dominguez is healthy, he's the guy. But until then, we're just going to be in this fucking, we're just going to sit here and go, oh, yeah, he brings the energy, which I agree. But at this point, how much does energy matter? Energy's great when this team's winning, but right now it means shit.
All right. And the other guy, okay, and don't nobody get triggered now because I'm picking on this one person and I'm not going to mention anybody else. Don't nobody get triggered, okay? If you understand how running a show works, is usually segmented to things that you want to hit, and you might pick other topics along the way, okay? So we spent nearly an hour destroying Aaron Boone and how he needs to be fired, and now we need to touch on a couple players. If you want me to rip the whole team, we'll be here to fucking midnight, and I really don't feel like doing that, okay?
Yeah, I got to pee.
So Carlos Rodon over here, okay?
Rodon.
Is it? I've heard it say it both ways.
It's Rodon, I think.
Well, if it's Rodon, then it's Rodon now because he doesn't deserve having his name said
Okay,
correctly,
so
right?
it's Rodon.
So I'll say this about him. You don't get to dictate when you come out of baseball games when you're a fucking pile of trash like you've been over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay?
Agreed.
You don't get to tell your manager, despite how I may feel about that manager, that you're not ready to come out of the game after you've given up 8 runs in Toronto and tell Boone, no, Barron, I'm not ready to come out. And Aaron acquiesced to you and let you finish that. And then we all said, is that going to turn him around? Is that going to be the turnaround for Carlos Rodon? And what did he do? He turns around and he gives up another couple home runs last night. Okay. And when he left the game, he only given up 3 runs. And I got people yelling at me in my comments on Twitter. Well, he only gave up 3 runs. He was 2 outs from a quality start. Okay. Are we paying Carlos Rodon to be a pitcher with a 4.5 ERA? Is that why we brought Carlos Rodon to be here?
I agree with you, but
or do we bring Carlos Rodon to be here to be a dominant force on this mound, to be somebody that could ride with Garrett Cole to dominate teams?
I agree, but
Because
I'm
now
also
he's been somebody now that I look at and has been punched in the mouth and is laying on the fucking canvas just like Rocky did in Rocky 3 after Rocky got the shit kicked out of him by Clubber Lang in the first fight, waiting for the referee to count him out. That's what Carlos Rodon looks like to me. And then he's going, please, Aaron, don't take me out of the game. Please, Aaron.
As a parent, one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten might have been from a book, might have been from someone else. Don't discipline behavior that you want to see. Don't discipline a pitcher who is fighting to stay on the mound. I'm not going to sit here. I agree with you. I do. 100%. Got to be better. I'm not going to sit here and fight that Rodon shouldn't be a guy, regardless of how he's pitching, shouldn't be a guy who should stand there and say, fuck you to Aaron Boone. I'm not going to discipline that. I want to see that no matter what.
But what is this going to be every time that
I don't care. I want to see a guy who has fight.
You know
At
what I
least
want to
he
see? I
has
want a
fight.
guy that pitches better than Carlos
Fine.
Rodon has.
So 2 things can be true at once. We always say that.
Right.
He needs to be better. But also, I'm fine with him having that fire. And I'm not going to discipline one because of the other. And in that situation, particularly, I'm not actually against Rodon. I think that Aaron Boone has such a quick hook. And here's why he had the quick hook. And here's why I agree with Aaron Boone. Because he wanted to get, there's no arguing this. He wanted to get Rodon out of there because he wanted him out before the game exploded. True?
Right, and I can't blame him for that.
No, and I agree. But if I'm Rodon, I'm not disciplining that reaction. fuck you. I want this. I'm not going to sit here and as a fan, as angry as I am at Rodon, as disgusted as I am, I'm not going to sit here and say, I don't want him to be aggressive. I don't want him to have emotion. I don't want him to fight Aaron Boone to stay on the mound. I'm not going to do it. That's who I want on there. Just like we said last episode, where Stroman shouldn't have been screaming at Torres, but I liked it. I'll take it. I'm going to take it with Rodon too. And yeah, you might be angry at him, and I get where you're coming from, but for me, I'm not going to discipline that behavior.
Can I ask you this question? Has he earned the right to do that as a Yankee?
It doesn't matter.
No, it does to me.
No, it doesn't.
I think certain guys
It doesn't
no, it does. And I'm going to tell
you want
you
to know why this
because
team,
he fucking
hold on, and I'll
sucks.
tell you why. And I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
And I'll tell you why. If this team is 3 games in first place, if this team is continuing on a winning trend, and Rodon is the outlier, then I'm on
Why? Because
on the same page as you.
Because they're all bad. You're going to accept
But
it?
because this team is on a fucking spiral, a downward spiral, if I'm seeing a guy who has some fight, I don't care what he's doing. I'm going to take it. I'm going to fucking cling on to it. If you're telling me this team is 3 games in first place and they're just continuing to win and Rodon is the outlier and he's the one out there being the fucking loser who's screaming at the manager, then fine, Christian. I'm with you 100%. I'm with you in saying, did he deserve to scream? But for right now, this team is so pathetic that I'm willing to cling on to anyone who has emotion.
And he is absolutely 100% part of the pathetic Yankees right
Fine.
now. Fine.
I don't care.
I do. Because you want to know something, Carlos? You wouldn't have to be begging your manager to stay in the game if you pitched better. And that's what it comes down to.
Fine, Christian, but who is Boone putting in for him? Tell me.
Okay? That's
who's he putting in for him?
That's a different conversation, and you know it is. So
but maybe
making an excuse for Carlos Rodon because he yelled at Boone and the whole team sucks, so I love it.
Well,
Pitch
hold on.
better.
Maybe that's why Rodon is pissed off, and you don't think about that, and no one does, right? I don't even think of it until now, until we're in this conversation.
I'm sitting there watching his last start.
Who's coming in? Who came in for him?
I don't even remember.
Right. No one does.
It was Thompson,
because it was
to be honest.
It was a loser.
Michael
That's
Tompkins
why.
a loser now?
Yeah, you know what? He's coming into the 5th inning. He's pretty much a fucking loser.
Because they have to stop the bleeding so that fucking gas can, Carlos Rodon, doesn't light a fire in Yankee Stadium.
Because that's why, though. Because who's coming in that's going to be that much better?
Okay, great. So
and I'm not defending Rodon.
So he wants to go out there and give up 7 runs himself. My point is that turned me. Everybody wanted to say, "Oh, I'm respecting Rodon. Let me finish this mess." Fine. You don't get to do it a second time. This team needed you to fucking step up. And Aaron Boone even said it in the postgame. Aaron Boone never takes shots at his players. Guess what he said about Carlos Rodon? Not every mistake you make needs to leave the ballpark.
Yeah, I agree with him, and I agree with you. I'm not defending Rodon. What I'm saying is we're talking like Rodon is the main problem, and he's not. This whole fucking team is a problem.
Do we have to lose it on old Sarge right now?
No, read it, because I didn't read it.
So we are giving Judge a pass on his weak leadership. He seems to be just incapable of lighting a fire under his team as Boone. He has
Sarge.
a C on his chest and is failing hard in that capacity. Sarge, love you, bro, but you couldn't be more off base.
Hold on.
Really.
I'll just say this. Sarge, you can say that after the season. And if you want to rip Judge for not winning a World Series, if he doesn't, I'll be right here with you. If Judge goes his whole career, doesn't win a World Series, I'm right here with you. But right now, this is not on Judge. Judge is doing exactly what he needs to. He's trying to keep the clubhouse together. I think they all love each other. I really do. But like we've said, episode after episode, they need an enemy. Boone needs to be that Christian, have you ever worked in a place where everyone hates the boss
Yes.
and you kind of just work together
Rally around it.
to fucking hate the boss,
Yeah.
that's what you need. That's what you need, and they don't have it.
This is the problem now. The Yankees are in a tailspin, and we're going to go after people that don't need to be getting fucked. Why are we even
Right.
calling anything
Judge-
about Aaron Judge into
Right.
question
And
right
Sarge,
now?
we love you. We love you so much. You're the man. We love you. It's not on you.
I don't know if you just joined the show and you missed the whole point about Jeter earlier, but I'm not going to get into it. You can't. It's not apples to oranges that you want
Right.
Aaron Judge to go out there and start yelling at people and get in people's faces. Hey, that's not who he is. If you start seeing him do that, you know that's a big problem for me.
Right.
When guys start changing their personalities because teams are going in a tailspin, that's not a good thing either. And you
Right.
said about Aaron Judge, Aaron Boone being the bad guy, right? And but that's not him. You know, we don't know what Brad Ausmus is, right? So that's why you get Boone out of here. And if Brad Ausmus has to be the bad guy, then that's fine.
Agreed.
And I said this about Rodon twice when I was on the Knights of the Round Table on Monday and when we recorded the episode on Sunday. And I think I almost nailed it. I didn't need to see five. I think I used 5 2/3. I didn't need to see 5 2/3, 3 runs from Carlos Rodon in this game. I needed to see him dominate a baseball game. Be the guy we thought we were bringing here. Be the alpha dog. Be the co-ace. He
Right.
was so far from that on
Timid.
excuse me, on Wednesday night.
Timid and cuckish.
I just can't right now. And fair or unfair that Rodon is taking the brunt of my anger. I don't care right now. But when you come in here with those expectations, when you were the big signing in the 2023 off season, right? You were the big signing. You came here with big expectations to be the guy that we finally got, that we could say that we had the 1-2 punch, right? And you spent last year hurt. And when you came back, you were a dumpster fire. You're flipping off the fans or blowing kisses or whatever the fuck it is that you were doing, right? And your last image on the mound in 2023, you gave up 8 runs without getting it out. And then we see you come back in 2024. And we're like, okay, here's the guy. This is the guy that we signed. And what happened? In that start against Boston, you got punched in the fucking mouth.
Yep.
And it happens. And we all said, fine, he was probably due for that. It's going to happen over the course of 32 starts. If you're healthy, it's going to happen. Bro, Garrett Cole got punched in the mouth a couple of times last year, and that was the greatest pitching performance we've seen out of a starter in 45 years out of this organization. It's how you respond to it. And he kept getting punched in the mouth, and he kept getting punched in the mouth. And he hasn't responded well to it. And what's he done? Cry in the dugout, cry to his manager. That's what he's done in response to it. And that is what's fucking bothering me about Carlos Rodon. If he would have went out there with his balls on the fucking mound yesterday, 7 1/3, 1 earned, 10 Ks, and then he got into a little bit of trouble in the 8th inning, and Boone went to get him, and he's fucking yelling at Boone, yeah, Carlos, but you didn't. You didn't do that. Another mediocre performance. I don't care that it was almost a quality start because the Yankees aren't paying for almost quality starts out of Carlos Rodon.
I agree.
That's not the expectation out of Carlos Rodon.
When you put it into that context, I agree. I'm just not going to sit here and be angry about it. That's all.
That's fine. You don't have to be angry about it. I'm angry about it.
I'm going to be angry more at the start that I saw than I am with him being angry about being taken out of the game.
Because
that's all I'm saying.
Here's my problem with Carlos Rodon right now.
It
also
ends for me with what he's doing on the mound, not with not wanting to come off the mound.
Okay, fine.
Is that fair?
Okay, right? He only got as deep into the game as he did is because the Reds aren't really that good offensively, although
Oh, they looked pretty
the
good.
Yankees really tried to make them look like murder. The 1976 Reds, they really tried to make them look like that ball club. They really did. But we're watching a guy that we know is at the end of his leash right now. And the Yankees needed way more out of you than they got. And you failed again.
Yep.
I said to you in our chat, this is my I'm done with him start.
Yeah, it was.
Am I fully done with him? No, I'll be fair and say no, because he didn't completely shit the bed. He did enough things that pissed me off in this start, but not enough where I'm like, I'm completely fucking done with this guy. But if I'm telling you right now, what is he going to do? He's going to listen to anything I have to say, but I'm not going to be in his corner anymore for sure. If the next time he takes the ball and he fucking lays an egg on this mound. And again, I'm not talking 5 1/3, 3 earned runs, dominance, shut a lineup down. And again, especially we're talking about a team that can't score, playing from behind all the time, and you let up the first runs of the game. And early too. It wasn't like you went 6 scoreless and then got hit up, gave up a home run in the 7th. It was the second inning. You're giving up fucking home runs to guys that.
It's every starter, dude.
Oh my God!
By the second inning.
But again, I get that, but it's also expectation levels for certain guys.
Yeah.
And again, you know, we're watching Stroman and they give up 3 home runs. The 3-run home run was such a backbreaker. And it's a porch job. Great. That ball leaked. It was not a good pitch. That's what happens when you don't locate.
Yeah. Agreed.
So we got an interesting series coming up here because the Red Sox are suddenly right on the Yankees' tails here.
I'll be there Sunday.
What did the Red Sox do today?
Who cares?
Well, you better care.
No, I don't care.
They won. They won today. So now the Red
they're
Sox
4 back.
They're 4 behind the Yankees. What a joke that's turned into. The Yankees have lost 3 in a row, 2-8 in their last 10. The Red Sox are coming to Yankee Stadium 7-3 in their last 10. Winners of 4 in a row. And after basically dropping their nuts on the Yankees' face when they were in Fenway over the weekend, a couple weekends ago. So we're gonna have a lot of fun watching this fucking series here. But hey, you know what? That's baseball, Susan. This is all we can do and sit here and every fucking game that the Yankees shit the bed say tomorrow's going to be the day.
Yep.
Tomorrow's going to be the day.
Never know.
You know. And again, what about? I'm telling you right now, we're going to be live on NYYU Monday night. The kid gloves are off Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
The kid gloves are off Garrett Cole.
Is he pitching Sunday?
No, he's pitching tomorrow, I believe.
Oh.
Or no, let me see here. We're going to go through the series right now.
Hurry. I got to pee.
Don't tell me that.
I'll leave. I'll leave the show right now, I swear.
Why? There's no starters list. Oh, that's the series at the end of the month. Let's go to the one. No, I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button.
Yeah.
Cole's pitching Saturday. So if Garrett Cole shits the bed, now that the expectations are back to him being Garrett Cole, you guys are going to hear me rip him on Monday.
Yeah, let's rip him.
The team they need their ace. They need Garrett Cole to be Garrett Cole.
Okay.
So it's a 3-game set against the Red Sox here. It's going to be Tanner Houck, who's having an amazing season, against Nestor Cortez, 7:05 Friday night. Then 1:05 Saturday. It's with Kowski, okay, against Garrett Cole. And then we're going to close it out Sunday Night Baseball. Cutter Crawford, who embarrassed the Yankees on Sunday Night Baseball, I believe, and Luis Heel, who should give the Yankees 4 outs because he's got about that much gas in the tank.
Okay.
So again, this is the Yankees lose. We get wild. There's fireworks outside my house. There's fireworks on this microphone, but no fireworks in Yankee Stadium on the 4th of July. Okay. They're just a pathetic baseball team right now, and there's really no other way to say it. But what would not be pathetic, and we would appreciate greatly, is if you subscribe to the NYYST podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Please, we do not want you to miss any shows. We are not going to be live every episode. There are episodes that are on audio format only in between our live episodes. So if you're subscribed, you won't miss anything. And please leave us a 5-star rating and review on your favorite podcast platform as well. And make sure you're telling everybody that the NYYST podcast is the official Yankees podcast of Odyssey. And please subscribe to NYY Underground on YouTube. Let's hit that 30K mark before the All-Star break. Okay. Thank you very much for your continued support of NYY Underground and the NYYST podcast. Thank you very much for listening and watching episode 402. Chris, say goodbye.
Can't make a promise, but I do my best. 25 sitting on 25 racks. Just got started, no, we ain't done yet. Bought a new crib, that's a goddamn flex. Sign that check. Told them last year that I've been up next. Can't take calls, but I send that text from way downtown.